Welcome. It's good to have you here. In our time together, we're going to create a space for some quiet, focused practice. We'll be exploring a really powerful tool that's designed to help us build our internal capacity and, well, deepen our personal alignment. Our work here in the presence community is always grounded in reflection. It's not about performance, it's not about ideology. The whole point is to build our capacity so we can navigate our lives with just a little more alignment and a little more presence. So, to really get into this practice, we first need to understand a pretty foundational piece of our own cognitive architecture. You can think of it like a default setting that's always kind of running in the background for all of us. And that setting, it has a name. It's called the negativity bias. It's basically our brain's evolutionary hardwiring to pay way more attention to and give a lot more weight to negative stuff over neutral or positive experiences. It's a survival mechanism, and man, it is very good at spotting threats. Now, this is absolutely crucial. We have to reframe this bias. It is not a character flaw. It's not a sign that you have a pessimistic outlook. It's a feature of our hardwiring, not a bug. And once we really get that, it allows us to approach ourselves with dignity and awareness, and we can just let go of all that blame and shame. And that brings us right to our practice. See, if the negativity bias is our automatic default setting, then this strength spotlight practice is a deliberate intervention. It's really an exercise in choosing responsibility over reactivity, a way to consciously build a counterweight to that default. All right, day one, you'll start by becoming an energy tracker. The task is simple. Identify a single moment when you felt genuinely energized. Then, use your discernment to name the specific strength that was fueling that feeling. This starts to build a direct link between our actions and our sense of vitality. For day two, we're going to narrow our focus to the seemingly mundane. You'll do what's called a hidden gem scan. You're looking for an under-the-radar strength that you use during some tiny win or just an everyday task. This helps us see our own effectiveness not just in the big achievements, but in all the quiet moments that actually make up our lives. On day three, the perspective shifts outward. I want you to recall a time you received praise or thanks from someone. The real work here is to treat that reflection as valid data. It's an external perspective on the strengths that other people genuinely see in you, things that you might totally overlook yourself. Okay, day four is all about synergy. The prompt is to spot a moment when two of your distinct strengths actually worked together, in concert, to create an even better outcome. This helps us see that our capacities aren't these isolated traits, they're an interconnected system. Day five introduces what we call a pivot. Here, the focus shifts to challenges. How did you use a particular strength to navigate or maybe soften or just manage a difficult moment? This isn't about pretending the difficulty isn't there. It's about recognizing the internal resources you actually brought to it. So on day six, we move from reflection to intention. You'll look ahead, identify an upcoming situation, and then consciously plan how you will bring a specific strength to it. This is that important shift from just passively observing to actively, responsibly deploying our capacities. And finally, day seven is about synthesis. It's about weaving it all together. You'll look back over your 6 entries and just see if you can discern a larger narrative, maybe an emerging theme. What's the story that your strengths were trying to tell you this week? And it's really important to know this isn't just some feel-good exercise. Its benefits are actually incredibly well documented. Research shows that practices like this can significantly boost well-being, reduce stress, and create these lasting gains in our vitality and self-esteem. For instance, there was one key study with a really robust sample size of over 400 adults. And they followed them for 6 months, which is a long time. It showed that the results, the positive effects, were durable. They really lasted. Now, to support you in this work, there are a couple of practical tools out there. There's something called the Strengths Vault, which is basically a reference list of 48 different character traits to help you build the vocabulary for this. You can also use AI prompts, which can act almost like a digital coach, helping you detect and articulate your own strengths. Okay, so now let's transition from the how-to part of this into a brief moment of personal integration. This is where we get to move from insight into action, and it's where we build our internal authority. So I invite you to just take a quiet moment with this first question. As you were listening to the 7 days, which one of those prompts created the most resonance for you? Or maybe even the most resistance? What might that internal signal be indicating for you right now? And here's a second prompt for your reflection. Just looking back over your own past week, even without a formal journal, can you begin to discern an underlying strength, a quiet capacity that was present for you? And as you feel ready, we invite you to bring any insights that have surfaced from this practice into our community dialogue spaces. Your reflections really do contribute to our collective capacity for growth. Ultimately, a practice like this is just another tool to support our core work. It's grounded in presence, in mutual respect, and in our shared commitment to creating a space for becoming. Thank you for your practice.